Hello everybody, welcome back. Showing my latest purchase and my newest little project I'm going to play with here. Not sure exactly how to pronounce this. I'm sure I'm going to pronounce it wrong, but I'm saying it anyways. Looks like it's from the Trippe or maybe Trippe company or Tippy. Not really sure. I'm sure I said it wrong all three times, but it's one of those. It's a Mark III volts. Looks like it's a 115 to 120 volts. Other than that, there's no other real markings on it other than that. I haven't opened it up yet, but according to the guy, the motor does work, but you can see the the thing inside there that rotates around the light bulb is not attached to the motor at this moment. I'm not sure if that's a gasket that's kind of laying in there. I'm not really sure. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull this thing apart and just kind of take a look at it. Plugging this thing in until after I have a chance to look at it, just in case. Get rid of that old crispy wire. That just has the lock on it. Pull that apart. Okay. Here's the ring. And the ring looks to be in really great shape. There's a little bit of surface rust on there. I'll see if I can emery cloth that off somehow. The dome itself is in really good shape. No cracks or anything like that. There is one small chip down here, but that's probably due to this gasket not sitting where it's supposed to. They probably cinched it too tight or something like that, but that's not too bad. As far as this, let's go and get this light bulb out of here. And get that out of here. Okay, so this right here looks to be in really good shape. You see the little stem here, that where it sits on the motor. The motor, I'm not sure at this moment, but kind of looks like the shaft that this would have sat on might be broken. Because this looks like it would have sat pretty far on there with maybe a set screw possibly right there. And the shaft that's coming off that motor is extremely short. So I'm going to assume that if it does go on there, it don't go on by much. So let's go ahead and do a little more disassembly here. Pull this off. Okay, so this right here would sit on that. I mean, if I can find a set screw, I mean, it might just lock back on there again. Just a matter of trying to find a little small Allen screw for that. That looks like a hardware store trip. Let's go ahead and keep those parts all together. Now let's see. How's this? Oh, it just falls apart. Okay. I'm going to pull this wire out of here. Okay, there's the base. Other than the dent right here, and obviously this color that there's no way I'm going to match if I try. I mean, I might go to maybe a local paint shop, see if they can scan it. Maybe they can make me a small aerosol can of some gloss for that. I'm not sure. I might try to knock that out, or I might just leave it there for the character of it. And then here we go with the wires again. Oh, those are the old porcelain style wire nuts. One's not, there it goes. Now it's coming off. Surprisingly, they're in really good shape. Pull this old crispy wire off here. Okay, so good thing is the motor on there looks like a motor that you can still kind of get those online. I've seen them before with that style bracket system on there. So if the motor does not work, I'm sure I can find one for it. I'm not sure if I'm going to rerun new wires for this light socket. If I can get it apart, I might, but those look like they're soldered, so I might not be able to. So I might be stuck with that. But we'll take a look and see. Maybe I can just unsolder it and put some new wire on that. All this old porcelain stuff. Gotta be so careful with it. There we go. All right, so pretty much got it all apart, minus taking the motor and this off, which there's no reason to take those off. I'm not sure what these two clamps right here are for. I'm not sure if those maybe were to semi-hold that gasket, or if maybe they're for something else. I'm gonna have to look into it. But we got it all tore apart. Next is do some cleaning on it, do some testing, see what I do about this. Because I don't like the way those wires look anyways. They look very charred. They're in pretty rough shape right there. So I really want to change these out if I can. So let me see what I can do with that. Okay, so before I make a trip to the hardware store, I actually have quite a few of these really small set screws. If my camera zoom in, yeah, there we go. So what I did is I found a tap, tap and die set that actually is the right size for that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to re-thread this a little bit, make it to where that fits in there really good. And if that does, then I'll be able to lock it onto the motor and I won't have to run to the hardware store. So let's see if this works. Okay, so I just finished doing the rethreading of it. Now I did have to modify my tap just a little bit because they're kind of pointed in a way. It kind of helps them chase the threads when you're doing some rethreading and stuff like that. So it wasn't going in all the way or to the point that I needed it to where this can go all the way like it needed to. It started getting really hard to thread in, but I modified it by just taking a little off of it, made it to where this now goes all the way in like it's supposed to, nice and smooth. Let me grab the base real quick. Go ahead and anchor this to the base. See how well it tightens up on there. As long as everything tightens up nicely, this part should be done. I know you can't really see what I'm doing, but I got to be able to see. There we go. That locked on really nice. So really the next thing would be for this piece to go on here. The washer. And the nut. I get my fat fingers in there. Yeah, okay. Right. I'll get some pliers or maybe a socket and go all the way down there to kind of snug that up a little bit more, but has a little rock to it, but other than that, we'll see if it works. All right, so I went ahead and put just a cord on it real fast just to see. Like I said, according to the guy, the motor ran, but I really didn't want to chance plugging it in with that nasty cord. So it did start off really slow, like it wasn't going to work, but after a couple seconds, it kind of freed up. It's probably been so long since it's been used that it was kind of stuck a little bit. So I'm going to let it sit there and just kind of run for a little while, loosen itself up. And in the meantime, I'm going to start looking into, see if I get this solder taken off here and see if I could change these wires out so I could put the lamp piece back in and then kind of go from there. All right, so I was able to take my soldering gun and soften up the solder enough to get the old wires out. Took some speaker wire, slash like lamp cord style wire, resoldered them back in. So I'm going to go ahead and snake this wire back through the tube here, get it all screwed back in, splice the wires, and I'll check to see if that bulb still works. And then we will turn it on and see what it does. All right, on. All right, let me test this light bulb first. What the hell? Let's just go ahead and put it in there. It's kind of a tight fit. Let's just go for it. You know what I mean? What the heck? All right. See what happens. And there we go. Now it's just a matter of cleaning up the rest of it, reworking that gasket, put it all back together. All right, so I went to Walmart and I found this can right here. It's actually pretty close. Now this in the camera does seem a little darker, but to the naked eye it's a lot lighter than what it looks like in the camera. I would love to be able to actually get this exact color and just literally just spot, spot spray it right here and then wet sand and kind of blend everything in the best I can. But I'm not, chance of finding, a way of making this exactly perfect is going to be kind of hard without doing the whole thing anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and just get the whole thing a coat and make it look real nice again. So once I get that painted, I built a stand for it to sit on, and then I'll start putting it back together. The Mark III Trippe light, like the one you see here, was introduced back in the 1940s to the 1950s. These would have been displayed outside of a store to help catch people's attention, kind of like the old barber pole would have done. These lights ran off conventional 110 AC house power. All right, so it's all put together. It's working pretty good. You see I got the base on the bottom there. Obviously that's not going to go anywhere. It's going to stay upright. Never got to worry about it tipping over. You'll notice that I tossed those old porcelain wire nuts inside there. And I did that because since those are kind of original to the light and they're kind of a cool piece, I wanted to keep them with the light. So I just tossed them down inside there where they won't get lost. And if I ever got rid of the light, the new owner will be able to have those if they wanted them for whatever reason. So the next step is to go ahead and get it up here on my shelf. I've already kind of measured it out. I plan on putting it here. It won't fit right there, so I'm going to move that light down to here and I'm going to put it up there. So let's go ahead and get this up on the shelf. All right, so I ended up just building a whole new little shelf that both those are attached to now, so I can get that a little bit lower. So this way that cord that I put on there actually will reach my plug that way. So it's all up in position. Alright, so now that the light has been fully disassembled, cleaned, and reassembled, this is my Mark III Trippe light. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.